Being 5:15, I call the October 29th Economic Development Committee meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For roll call tonight, first thing I would like to do is introduce our two student reps. We have Colton Swanson joining us and Ben Snyder. So in the spirit of getting to know everybody, I'd like to just go around the room and you can tell us a little bit about yourselves and then we'll tell you what our roles are on the committee. Go ahead, Colton.
My name's Colton Swanson, and I'm student representation, and that's about it. I'm not sure.
Are you a senior? What grade are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Oh, awesome, welcome.
Yep.
Bill Bishop, been on the committee probably 7-8 years, I'm guessing. Manage one of the businesses in town here. Enjoy attending.
Charlene Migalski, District 5.
Ben Snyder, also a student representative, also sophomore.
Dave Garcia, Alderman, District 4.
My name is April Kopitsky. I'm the executive director at the New London Area Chamber of Commerce, and I've been on economic development for almost 8 years.
Bernie Ritchie, District 3, Alderperson.
Tim Roberts, District 4 Alderperson. Been on the committee for 3 years now.
Ben Asserter, District 3, Alderperson.
John Hess, District 2 Alderperson.
Belinda Croy, District 2 Alderperson and Committee Chair.
John Fache, District 1 Alderperson, and I've been on the committee about 4 years, 5 years.
Bob Esau, First District Alderperson.
Mark Ritter, City New London Mayor.
Alderperson, District 5.
Mark Ritter, Mayor.
Chad Hurt, City Administrator, going on 4 years now. So.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I would like to motion to adopt the agenda, please.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Nope.
Okay, then we'll go for a vote. All those in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the September 24th, 2024 meeting minutes as presented in the packet.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Bill, second by Tim. Any questions or concerns regarding the minutes? Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Public comment. Do we have any public comment today? Public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, we'll move on to the Highway 15 digital billboard advertising updates.
All right, I will take it from there. As everyone knows, we are working with Lamar Billboard or advertising group to come up with some digital billboard ideas for the Highway 15 digital billboard that they own in Greenville near the Sport Motor business on Highway 15. We've been working with other stakeholders, the chamber, the school district, and 3 businesses in our community to collaborate and try to monopolize that billboard, the digital billboard, now that the Highway 15 highway just opened up a couple hours ago, which is exciting. And this is a way to try to promote New London and let people know that we are in the area and come consider us for multiple different type of things. So to start off with, we tried looking at some consistency between the advertisements, and Lamar came up with a license plate theme to see if some of the stakeholders, the chamber, the school, and the businesses would want to look at doing a similar license plate theme for our billboard ad. After bringing everybody to get together and talking about it, decided that that might not be the best, that might not work for everyone, depending on what the businesses wanted to advertise for their particular business. But it was something that we could take advantage of on the city side of things. And one thing that I did find out that I brought and we talked about in my memo was that we are not limited to one advertisement in our theme. We can have multiple ads, and what happens is, like I stated, that there are 8 advertisements in a week. Each ad runs for about 7.5 seconds per minute. So each of the 8 ads runs once for 7.5 seconds per minute. We don't need to have the same ad every minute. We can have multiple ads. So for example, the first minute we could have, you could see this top one talked about business in our community. The second minute would be, example of the family one. The third one would be live here. And the fourth could be explore, if we wanted to do all 4. And what would happen is that on the 5th minute, it would just go back to the top and keep on rotating. So we don't have to have the same advertisement necessarily throughout the entire time. We can, but we can have multiple. So all the other stakeholders have been contacting the art guy and getting their ads together, but this is what we've come up with for the city's ad. So to try to promote business in the community, just to kind of get New London's name out there with a little tagline, grow with us. Talk about family, why family is so important, tradition and roots. The third one is an example would be live here, friendly and caring. And then the last one, explore, adventures awaits. And obviously being a billboard, you can't have a ton of information on there because you're driving by and you only get a couple seconds to look at it. So it's got to be pretty precise and, pretty clean, I guess. So, but with that, any comments or suggestions or thoughts of kind of the ads that we picked to run for our advertisement? Again, this would be in the second week of November through the first week of December, 4 weeks that we have.
So we'd see the yellow ad for 7.5 seconds roughly, then we'd see another business. And then something, and then these would be sprinkled in there.
Correct. So for that first minute,
Yep.
you would see one of them for 7.5, then maybe the school district for the second,
Yeah,
7.5,
I gotcha.
blah, 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 blah. So for every minute, if they're full, they have 8 ads in that minute, and then the second minute, potentially we would rotate to the second ad in our theme and whatever ads for the rest of them. I don't know if April, if you've sent any information yet for the Chambers ad.
No, but we're working on Winter Wonderland. She's well on her way. We're almost done.
I like the idea of having multiple because if this is on there repeating, if there's a commuter who goes quite often, they might see it and then all of a sudden they see a different one and it's now an attention, get a destination to look at versus just something that you see while driving.
Mhm.
I pass a sign every day. It's about a block and a half from my work. And from the time that I can see it legibly, I can see 2.5 flips.
So is that gonna be on the east or the west side of that sign?
You only have it on one side, I believe.
It is, that's why I noticed that Weston Ford's been on that one side permanently.
No, I think it's west facing, if I'm not mistaken.
West, yep,
West facing digital. Yep.
yep.
I like the idea. I think we've talked about it for quite a while. What do we need to do? Do we agree? Do we say vote or what do you ask?
You guys agree with this? Just proceed with the ads as presented and we'll kind of get that on there. Again, it's the prices came out very favorable when we started negotiating or getting information for 4 weeks of ad. It was going to be like $750, but since we came together with other stakeholders and basically got a group rate, we got it down to 600 for 4 weeks. And talking to the other stakeholders, everybody was like, that is a steal for advertising. Everybody was pretty excited just to have a $600 price tag for something like this. So, and I've had other people actually come approach me saying that next time if we do this, that they're interested as well. So,
Are they all filled? All the slots filled?
yep. There is one flip for one slot that supposedly is right of first refusal, and I haven't heard if that one opened up yet. So if that's not opened up, but it's getting to be pretty close to the deadline to try to get another stakeholder in to get an ad done. So,
but otherwise, 7 of the 8 companies are all from New London.
we have So there is 8 flips or 8 ads. I think 2 of the weeks were 6 openings and the other 2 were 5 openings. So there are some non-New London sprinkled in there. They were at, I think there's probably just ongoing ads that some company has reserved, just keeps on going over and over and over again. So before we asked, those were already secure. So we basically grabbed everything they had open on that billboard.
I'd make a motion to put these on the billboard as shown on the screen for whatever, however you wanna word that.
Second.
We have a motion to go ahead and approve these for the city's portion of the billboard. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's go with it. I'm excited to see those billboards. Okay, so next up, we're gonna have a little discussion on a hotel conference center feasibility study.
Okay, I'm gonna bring in April with this one as well, because we've been collaborating about different options for the community, and April has had more conversations with local hotels about what their availabilities are, and just through discussions, the hotels are full quite often. So April reached out to Cobblestone Hotel to see, are you guys interested? I mean, what's something that would bring and attract a hotel to a new community? They are interested. Sounds like one of the owners is actually from New London, so that's a plus for us right off the bat. But to start off with this, what we would need to do is have a hotel feasibility study done. And it was actually really good timing because the individual that we were working with, getting some information for, was at the conference I was at last week. So I could talk to her in person and just get a lot of information. So I asked them right off the bat, if we do a feasibility study, is there something that we can partner up with? Because this is something for private business and, you guys would be benefiting from a feasibility study. She said, because of the way that they particularly do their franchising, they can't get involved in the feasibility study. It's typically something a municipality does to provide information to attract a hotel to the community. The rep did tell me that if they proceed through with it, there might be an opportunity to negotiate a reimbursement for that information, but upfront they can't do it because what they do is they're not the ones that technically put in the upfront money as the investment. What happens is with the feasibility study, their business model is they go around to local investors in the community and try to get, either banks or credit unions or other investors to be part of their hotel. So it sounds like most of their hotels are investment groups made up of local stakeholders in the community. So they need that feasibility information to provide that and attract stakeholders to be part of their project. So that's something that if we want to pursue that, we would have to start with that on our end. Then April and I were talking about, well, we know in the future that, or we have indication in the future that the church may take over the entirety of Crystal Falls in the future. So we were talking about, well, if we're going to do a hotel study, does it make sense to slip in? And I don't even know what the cost of these things are yet, but would it make sense to slip in a conference center, banquet center feasibility study to see, what's the need? What's the feasibility of something in New London? We know we need a banquet center, for weddings and conferences and events and stuff like that. So, if there is a change with Crystal Falls or anything in the future, would a conference feasibility study help guide whoever in the future of making sure that we have something like that in the future? So we kind of threw that out there as well. I don't have any prices yet. I was recommended that I reached out to specific corporate or specific consultants to get a feasibility study. The rep I was talking to said in the past, communities have done this by an RFP, request for proposals, and sometimes the proposals, they've gone with the lowest proposal. And she said sometimes in the past, they have experienced that lowest proposal has not done a good job, and the hotels didn't come to fruition just because it was, sometimes you get what you pay for. for a feasibility study. So I did ask the rep to at least give me 3 or 4 consultants that they would be, that they would recommend. So at least we get, multiple proposals instead of just one. So that's kind of what we're at. I want to kind of get the feeling from you guys about how you feel about doing a feasibility study like this. Again, I have no idea what the costs are yet. I would have to look into that further, but I want to let everybody know where we're at with potential more growth in the community. So I'll throw it out there.
I like it, depending on what it's gonna cost. That's a big answer, right?
Is it, does the city always have to take the lowest bid? I mean, if you put out RFP, I mean, is that like written in our, code?
For state statute, we have to take the lowest qualified bid for public works construction projects. So anytime we're doing like a street construction or things like that, we have to by state law take the lowest qualified. When you're talking about consultants or IT services or anything like that, or if we just purchase outright, so we purchase a sign, whatever, if we just purchase that outright, then we do not have to take the lowest qualified bid, just for public works construction projects. The other consideration to it, I kind of like about this is I don't want to seem like we're competing with our existing businesses. I don't want that to happen. So having a feasibility study would be nice to have that information to show, is another hotel, I mean, would that, can we survive with another hotel? Can we flourish with another hotel? Or would another hotel really compete against our existing businesses? So that information would be nice as well, just to have as we move forward.
Right now, I'm working with the Clippers, trying to help them with the tournament that's coming to town next year in April. And they're trying to book the rooms. They're completely booked up our hotels. They have some hotels in Wapaka and in Appleton. So it'd just be nice to keep, if we have an opportunity to keep everybody, our tourists in town, that we can capitalize on that.
And I think you said during Fall Fest.
Yeah, Fall Fest we sold out at American.
I think every baseball, softball tournament, any other large event we have in the city, wrestling tournament, everything is, they're completely full.
Yep.
And there's a lot of regional.
Turning people away to Appleton, or, I mean, we can keep them local. That'll help local businesses too, right?
Yep. If they're staying here, they're hopefully coming to the restaurants, gas stations and things that are staying here. And I mean, there's a lot of regional stuff in the area. I mean, EAA and Packers, and there's a lot of things that radiate out into our area. So,
and there has been a big decline in conference centers and just venues, larger venues overall, all across the state. It's getting harder and harder for the organizations that I work with to find a place to bring over 100 people. There's a lot of places that you can get room, you can, maximum occupancy is 65 people or 80 people, but getting that 100 to 120 to 200, 300 people, it's really a tough thing to book, to find a place to book. So when I look at the opportunity for a conference center, that will bring other organizations into town. If you have a conference center that can do that 150 to 300 people, you're gonna get groups coming to town. You're gonna get larger wedding venues coming to town, just all those different opportunities. It is really hard to find them nowadays. A lot of them did not survive COVID. They just didn't survive any of that. And then post-COVID, people have just changed their lifestyles a lot. And those big venue the big venue restaurants and conference centers, they just couldn't compete and they've closed down. There's very few of them even in the valley. And I think it would be an opportunity for New London, especially on the conference center side, to start having some venues, different places, different things that we can do here.
I think if the study does attract businesses to town, I mean, I think it'd be worth it. And to have something like that, a conference hotel center, it would really help the town, you know, develop. Be very attracting.
So are we looking for a recommendation to proceed with gathering the information for the feasibility studies?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be an exact motion, but just more so, I just want to kind of get your feeling of the committee. Do you feel like this is something that spend time? We've got a lot of things going on. We want to focus our time what we got going on that you guys support. So I just want to kind of head nod, or if there's total disagreement that we shouldn't be focusing on this, that was just looking for feedback.
It might even be good to bring one of the people in, or, if someone's recommended, just to educate many of us on what's entailed and what the process is, what's measured, what's the criteria is, and stuff like that. I guess I'd be up for learning more about how the process is. They don't know.
That's not a
Yeah,
bad
because
idea.
if it's not feasible, I'd like to know how to make it feasible. Right? If it's not feasible, we'd like to learn how we can.
Good point.
Would this be possibly, split the cost with the New London tourism, for the study? You get in, tax, use some tax funds towards this as well?
We can ask the question.
Yep, so tourism is typically supports advertising. I'm not saying no, an application could always come in, but
Mhm.
I'd have to review the policy and see if it's a good fit.
Hans, I just brought you forward. I noticed that you were an attendee, so you can talk now if you have anything that you want to add.
Nope, nothing to add so far. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think that if we don't have any more discussion on that, then we'll go ahead and recommend a little more research and an upcoming agenda item.
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay. Updates and reports, business updates from April.
All right, I got a couple updates for you guys. The first being a new business, well, actually a new service in town. FNS Transport Service is a new taxi service. Yes, she has a different area code. She is from a different state, but she does service New London. So if you talk to anybody, let them know she's servicing New London. Next, we have a business acquisition. Polish Nail Nook was the former nail salon over by Coldwell Banker. So Ia just purchased her business. It's on 1257 North Shawano Street. Another business acquisition, this is the former Lily Pad, what is now known as the Coven and Co Studios. So Caitlin moved her Simply Skin Aesthetics business over here. So there's multiple businesses now in Lily Pad. So they're going to do a little bit of everything. Hair, tanning, or not tanning, I'm sorry. Hair, flowers, and skincare. Next is a relocation update. IQ Resources was right on North Water Street. They have now moved back by Thrivent on Wapaka Street. Another relocation, Security Finance was over by the Wolf River Plaza. They are now over on Shawano Street by the Subway building, the new development. Kurt now has one spot left open in that new development. And the plaza continues to empty. Jolly Rogers had some updates, some exterior updates that I wanted to report on. Her words, she took the ugly overhang down and replaced it with a decorative looking balcony for fire escape. And they did some painting and they put some window posters up for her frozen pizza. And this is exactly what we predicted once North Water Street was reconstructed, just like in Wapaka. They saw a ton of businesses taking advantage of exterior improvements. Another business update, Easy Street is still closed, but it looks like he took out a facade grant. He got some new awnings. Looks really nice. I think everybody in the room is aware that the library obtained a $3.9 million grant through Wisconsin Department of Administration. I put this more in just for notes so that I have it for my records, but London Public Library is well on their way to updating in the former First Aid building. Any questions? Oh, sorry. Last but not least, we have a business after hours. Events Everlasting got an updated sign. This is the former TV appliance building. So on November 21st, we're gonna celebrate with a ribbon cutting and an open house from 5 to 7. So everyone is invited to a business after hours at Events Everlasting on North Water Street. Some commercial listing updates here for you. Some things that I want to point out. Hilby's had a price reduction. They were at a 1.2. Now they're down to 1.1. The former City Hall, I think this was in Chad's notes. He's been working with someone. This building is under contract. There was a price reduction on 307 Smith Street. And I believe that is it for updates for commercial. Any questions for me?
Okay. Nobody has any more questions or any questions at all for April. Chad, City Administrator's Report.
So like I put in my memo, next few weeks are going to be exciting. I was just counting a little bit before people came in. This must be the opening week because we have the Highway 15 project that just opened up. Robert told me that either tomorrow or the next day, the contractor in the downtown plans on opening up the downtown for traffic. They still have punch list items to do, so they will be doing that under construction. But Robert says that in the next day or so, they will be opening up the downtown for general traffic. And then Aldi's is opening on Thursday, so it's a week of openings, which is kind of cool for this week. And then I continue discussions with Kim regarding the developers agreement for the proposed beer garden. We did have the lots surveyed, so if anybody's in that area, there is pink marks to actually showing where the lot corners are. So those are there. And then I also met with leaders of the St. John's Food Pantry. They were very concerned about the development, how things are going to change, especially with the area that the proposed beer garden would be and the parking availability that they're using that for now. So we did have, I did have some conversations with them, and I told them we want them as stakeholders as part of this project. And then we've also tasked our UW-Madison student, which we want to bring into this meeting sometime in the future. It's just not, we've got a lot of things going on, and he's busy too, but we're probably going to bring Milo into one of these meetings in the future just to kind of introduce him to the committee. But we also tasked him to see what he could come up with any ideas for maximizing parking in that area, along with our placemaking project. So those are things that we have going on our end. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. We want to look at reviewing potential agenda items for future meetings. Consider an upcoming schedule for advertising on the city's Highway 45 billboard. Transportation updates, childcare updates, housing updates. Added to this list would be the hotel and conference feasibility study and a potential hello to Milo. So, okay, reviewing our next meeting date.
I'm going to make the recommendation to kind of look at the next 2 months, because the next regular meeting would be on Tuesday, the 26th, which is Thanksgiving week. I know there's a lot of deer hunters that are out there, and being so close to Thanksgiving. And then the following month in December, our regular meeting date would fall on the 31st on New Year's Eve. So didn't know if the committee would be receptive to try to do one meeting and splitting the two. Maybe instead of doing one at the end of November, try to do, you know, maybe December 10th and have that as kind of the November, December one, just because then it's not falling at the end of the month. I guess I'll just throw that out there.
That's a good idea.
December 10th works for me.
Yeah. Okay, so then we will tentatively schedule the next meeting for December 10th at 5:15 here. Okay. For our next agenda item, we are going to be going into closed session for the following statutory exemption. 19.85 1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whether competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. And this is regarding downtown development. And I'm looking for a motion to go into closed session, with those invited being the Economic Development Committee, Common Council, Mayor Mark Herter, City Administrator Chad Hirth, Building Inspector Dave Vincent, Building Inspector John Lust, and Attorney Steckbauer.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we'll take a couple minutes and move into closed session.
Thanks, Han.